I've probably got a couple minutes left, so I'm going to just totally divert to a completely different thing. I was reading an article on the internet about an experiment in the 1970s where the scientist had amassed a collection of rats and he pushed them into this hut, and basically over 24 hours they lost control, switched to homosexuality and started eating each other. Not eating each other in a sexual sense, but eating each other in a physical sense.
A culinary sense.
Eating each other, yeah, that's right, eating each other in a culinary sense rather than a pleasurable sense. It got me thinking about the issue of homosexuality and whether it was a genetic trigger or whether it was an environmental trigger. We always have homosexuals, complaining that, they can't be labelled as, homosexuality can't be labelled as a choice because then there's a sense of inferiority, or a sense of difference being put on the label of homosexuality. So homosexuals always maintained it's a genetic thing. They were born homosexual. Now, there are studies to suggest that overpopulation is a genetic trigger for homosexuality. Homosexuality in nature isn't uncommon. There are aspects of the insects and mammals where if the clan becomes overpopulated, then there's a certain group that hasn't got the same heterosexual sex drive but assists in the rearing of the other people's kids. And obviously, according to the weather dynamics and environmental triggers, that remains fluid. On the Friday's front page of the Herald Sun was the headline that the IVF has the Victorian lesbians rejoicing because now they can have kids. And I found it rather ironic that one of the excuses for homosexuality that is genetic and thus, kind of diverts away from the whole homosexual choice thing, which the homosexuals shun completely, is overpopulation. And I found it rather ironic that the left-wing liberalism of the day is now enabling homosexuals to actually have kids, which is in complete opposition to the environmental triggers that apparently causes homosexuality. So I'm just going to end it there, and it's important to keep the standards high.